I'll go fetch for the link so we can share it in Telegram. And we are live. Okay, we have the link in Telegram. We can start. Martin, do you want to go first?
Sure. So I finished the spec test for the epoch processing and created a bunch of tickets, basically all the tickets related to epoch processing. And I was double checking them because there are a couple of them that we are blocked because they have some dependencies. So yeah, now I think I'm done with that, and we have enough tickets. So I was thinking about moving into the implementation of the pending blocks versus the process blocks, which was if we get a block from P2P, it might be that we don't have the parents, so we have to start asking for the ancestors until we get to the point up until the checkpoint sync, or if we already have the parent and then process them. So it makes like that a little bit of complexity to how we deal with blocks. And so yeah, I thought maybe it's a good task to go next. I don't know what you guys think of. Yeah, this was my plan.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. We probably would benefit from some kind of architecture diagram related to that. That's optional, but it could be good for us to understand how you're thinking this, because it's like if you're implementing that with a Gen server or whatever other Elixir structure, that might not be trivial.
Yeah, I agree. I can make some document and before I start implementation and look a little bit on what other clients are doing. I was looking at one, but maybe I can look at others as well.
Sure, I don't want to block you like from building POCs or anything like that. I like if you want to start writing some code and then document it, that's perfect as well. I don't want to be a blocker on that. Anything else?
No, that's all for me.
Perfect. Thank you. Paul, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So this weekend, as you know, I've mostly been traveling, so I wasn't. And today, I was mostly like I have a new computer, so I was setting up everything, rebuilding the repo, and I'm having a problem with Nix. So I set up the Nix environment, but I'm getting an error with the level DB. Um, so so yeah, I'm not. I don't know if it's related to myself or if it's related to a problem with the Nix environment, but we might want to look into that. Um, so yeah, I'll send it in the group. And then mostly I'll
So,
continue.
hey, sorry, just a question. Sorry to interrupt you, but did you have any problems with the? Because I remember that you already had everything working with ASDF. Do you have troubles with that? So you moved to Nix, or was it just to try something new?
No, so on my old computer, I had ASDF, and it was working pretty well. But I'm not a fan of just having like multiple versions of multiple programming languages and stuff like installed on one computer, because sometimes it leads to problems and yeah, and so I didn't fully like the way ASDF worked. So I was like, oh, I'll try Nix, and I heard a lot of good things about Nix. So I installed Nix and I ran it. I'm still trying to understand all the subtleties of how it works, but anyway, and now I ran with Nix. It worked perfectly on ASDF. Now when ran with Nix, ASDF Nix installed correctly, and when I just try to make deps, it works. But when I try to make IEX, for example, and compile the project, I'm getting errors from eleveldb, and it's basically telling me that it could not compile the eleveldb dependency. So
Interesting. Can you start an issue for that so that we can track it? And then if you want, you can also post it on Telegram or whatever. But it would be nice to have an issue for that bug so that we can track it and see what's happening, especially with the error message that you're getting, so that we can estimate if there's something that happened. I will also like get my the latest updates from main and try to bring up the Nix environment because it was working for me, but we might have either a case of working on my machine, or it's just new changes that I haven't tested on Nix yet.
Sure. Because you are using Nix.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fully using it, but I brought it. I did the last PR after the one by Akash. So I did a last PR on Nix and tested that everything was working on my side, and I was able to make IEX and bring up the server and everything, and it started downloading blocks. So I assumed that everything was working. But I will try with the latest changes on main. If I cannot reproduce it, we will very highly benefit from your issue.
I've been using it since it was introduced, and it's working fine for me.
Great. Then I'll look into it if there's really a problem. After I try to delete everything and maybe rebuild and stuff like that, then I'll open an issue. Related to the consensus client, I will be focusing on finalizing the PRs that I have open, and it should be done pretty soon because now it's like mainly cleaning. Most of them, like the implementation works for the test runner or for the configs and things like that. Now it's mostly like just cleaning up the PRs and making sure that we can like implement them in sequence. So I'll try to do that in the next days. At least I'll focus on that, and then yeah, just taking this small week. Maybe I'll yeah in France. Coming back to the office.
Thank you, Paul. That's very cool. Tomas, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to migrate from NIFs to ports. The part of libp2p. Until now, I managed to make it to actually start using libp2p in the Golang side, in the port side, while in the Elixir side, I've been trying to add some things like passing arguments, passing the listening addresses for the libp2p part, and well, I'm working on that. I've been trying to mimic the tests, the unit tests I already I had added for the NIFs. Now with ports, I've made at least one of them works. Now I'm dealing with some problems, but I'm advancing. I'm going forward.
Okay, that's perfect. Let me know if you need any help with the message passing between Elixir and Go. That's something that I wrote for the POC. So if you need any help, like figuring things out or whatever, you can tell me. You're pretty fast at figuring out that stuff out, but if you get blocked or anything, you can also reach out to me.
Sure.
Okay, I think I'm the last one left. I was mostly implementing a fork choice tree as a gen server and documenting the process, and I'm also documenting a bit of the project, mostly for newcomers, so that we can start the bootcamp. And that's it. I want to have at least a naive implementation of the fork choice gen server for today. With naive, what I mean is that we won't have like balances and like formal attestations, latest messages. We will not have any kind of fork tree store. The only thing that I'm implementing is just the tree, and you can add new nodes and new votes for them, and it should calculate the weight of each of the individual nodes and the weight of the subtrees. So that's like a very, I don't know how to put it, like a very old school algorithmic stuff. It's just implemented over a gen server. It should be fairly easy to do, but it should be the base on top of which we can start working on actual fork choice. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I don't have any more updates. Any final comments or questions? All right, I think we have nothing else for today. Then we can finish the meeting. And yeah, thank you all for joining, and see you all tomorrow.